Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. Happy Wednesday. How is everybody's day going so far? Happy to check in and chat about some color today. I'll be looking in the comments for people to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. I'd like to see where everybody is in the country or out of the country. Let me know where you are and how you are. And let me see, they changed the format on the screen. So now that I said that, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see your comments, but comment anyway. So today I wanted to share a post that I saw on one of the many hair color forums that I'm very active on. And the number one question that I see lately, that's where I get my ideas and inspiration for what education I'm going to offer. And I see an overwhelming number of people asking questions about glazing, toning, melting, how to formulate for those services. And it's so simple if you take the time to actually learn the why behind what you're choosing. But if you never take the time to back up and realize what you don't know about glazing, toning, and melting, you will always be phoning a friend and looking for a lifeline. And let me explain. So for years, I had one mentor that taught me all about Redken Shades EQ, but it was 25 years ago. And in my opinion, I'm no chemist, but I feel like it has changed a little bit over the years. And I kept using the rules and the methods that I was taught when it was brand new now. So I would see these formulas where, a warm and a cool was mixed together. And I would say, what is that person doing? That's crazy. The warm and cool is just canceling each other out and they're just making a neutral. But there's a method to the madness. And it is something that has changed over the years when all of these pre-blended shades started coming out. So the post in one of the forums was, hi, I have, and this was about Redken Shades EQ in particular. It doesn't mean this only pertains to Redken Shades EQ, but it was the Shades EQ group. I have 9GI, 9VG, and 9V. My client has highlights and wants warm blonde. Should I just use all three? What ratio, please? That was the question. So I take a deep breath because it's not the first time that I see it, or it will not be the last time that I see it. And every single answer was, yes, just mix all three in equal proportions. That sounds great. The next one would be, no, just use the GI and the VG because she wants warm. Take out the 9V. The next one is, use a quarter of this, a half of this, all these recipes. What I did not see is the question that I would ask saying, can you send me a picture of her hair right now? What it looks like now that she's been lifted? Because I need to know what level is she lifted to. Is she a 7? Is she an 8? Is she a 9? Is she a 10? Is she ready to break off white? What is she now? It all matters. Not only does that matter, but what is her texture? What is her density? Is she fine, medium, coarse? Does she have tons and tons of hair or 3-4 hairs? It looks like she has no hair, because fine hair is going to absorb the color much quicker, faster, and deeper than coarse or thick hair. What is her porosity? Is she damaged beyond belief and anything I put on her is going to overtone and accept too much of the cool tones? Those are the questions that you need to ask. So if you're guessing and just grabbing like this person's trying to do, that's the number one problem. But there's other problems. So I created a training called My Top 10 Mistakes That People Make When Glazing and Toning. It's brand new. It's available as of today. But I wanted to make it even more exciting. It's a very affordable. It's only $27, and that's on purpose because I find that most of the people struggling with this issue are newer stylists that may not be able to pay, hundreds of dollars to go to an in-person, lecture or hands-on type of event. And I want to make it available for everyone. But I also wanted to make it available for my ride or dies that come to all of my education, including the upcoming revival event. So I didn't want anyone to feel left out. So as of today, the training alone is available, and the link is in this broadcast. You'll see it at the title. So the link is there to purchase just the toning class, $27, easy, click on it, buy it, you own it, you can watch it as many times as you would like. If you're planning on coming to Revival and you just have been on the fence and you're waiting, you're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, I'm offering it as a free bonus for both general admission and VIP. VIP right now gets an amazing extra library called the Experiential Swag Library. This will be added to the Experiential Swag for those who have already bought your ticket. So when this week ends, from now until next Wednesday, this is a special offer for early action takers, for people who are like, I'm in, I want to learn about toning and glazing, I want to be at Revival, I want the all the things. So general admission and VIP both will get this special bonus in with your Revival ticket. So if you haven't bought your Revival ticket, don't buy just the glazing and toning today. Wait and buy it all together. Buy your Revival ticket and you will automatically get it. So if you're watching and you're like, well, that's not fair, I already have my Revival ticket, because like I said, my loyal Coffee Chat and Insider peeps already bought their tickets. So don't worry. If you already bought your ticket, it will be added to your library automatically, whether you're general admission or VIP. So that's my gift to you, because it really frustrates me to see people struggle so much. And I was you. I struggled as well. I sometimes still second guess myself when it comes to, heavy porosity issues, or a really picky client that you're just like, you want to nail that exact perfect shade and you don't want it to be too cool or too neutral or too, so you tend to overmix and overthink it. But I promise you, if you understand what I explain in this training and what the mistakes are that we make, you will realize you're most likely making at least 2 or 3 of them, because I know I was. That's how I was able to make the training. So while we're on here, tell me what you struggle with your glazes. Are they getting too deep? Are they getting too cool? Are they not lasting? What are your glazing and toning issues? Hi, Teresa. Hi, Maritza. Hi, Paula. Hi, Julie. Julie says, get off the fence, people, and buy a ticket. You won't be sorry. We have such a great lineup. I call this year's Revival the Global Edition. I have had the blessing of meeting so many people in the UK, in Ireland, in Australia. Over the pandemic, I've connected with so many educators and so many stylists from those areas that, because it's digital, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't make that date. I have something. I have my cousin's sister's weddings. Everybody has an excuse. I'm like, no worries. Buy the VIP. You will watch it over and over and over. I have people from last year's event reach out to me. Misty is one of them. I don't know if Misty's on here this morning. She goes back and watches last year's, and she sets up a mannequin head and does hands-on classes to the Revival trainings. And her growth has been insane. She nails it every single time, because she has that digital library that if she has a client cancel, or she has a day where she's just feeling inspired and wants to try something different, she can pop on Vivian McKinder and look at something that she did for, an up style or a braid or something, and try it and pause it and rewind it and fast forward and all of the things that you can't do at an in-person class. Something special and unique to Revival. I just attended yet another digital show this weekend. It was the Cosmoprof show, and they had a ton of technical difficulties, and my heart went out to them, because being on the other side of that once in a while is no fun, and it's really sometimes out of your control. But I got so many chills when people in the comments said, that's it, never again. None of this happened during Revival. And I was like, oh, screenshot. I took a screenshot of the comments, and I loved that people were so passionate about their experience with Revival, because not only did we not have any technical difficulties, and touch wood, we're going to the same studio this year. They have an amazing team and really great internet connection. So barring any technical difficulties, what's special about Revival is the connection with other attendees, as well as the connection with the educators. So picture having, you're seeing just me on the screen right now. So you're going to have just Joe Blackwell on the screen. And when she's done teaching, we can open up for questions, and you can, we can spotlight you, and you can be on screen and say, hey, Joe, I love that thing that you just did. But when you did that curtain bang, why did you pull it off to the right side? Whatever your question is, imagine that being as easy as a click of a button, where at a hair show, you're kind of sitting there and your sweaty palms and your heart's all like roller coastery. You're like, oh, I really want to ask this question, but everybody in the room is going to whip around and look to see who the annoying person is asking that question. I've been that person. I forge ahead and ask because my question is more painful than my embarrassment of asking it in front of a group. But a lot of people leave with that question on their heart and continue to have that question moving forward in their career and never asking, and just not getting where they need to get for fear of being judged. So don't let that happen to you. This is an amazing group of people. We have Christopher Moody, who's going to talk about, being an educator and a leader, and, how to properly communicate. He's amazing. We have, of course, Vivian McKinder coming back, and her, I know for one, I was with her recording her experiential swag, and her experiential swag alone is worth several $100s just to have that training. And that's the extra bonus. That's not even the actual revival show. So I know this year has been tough, this year and a half, actually. I know you're tightening up the wallet and trying not to spend a lot of money, but trust me when I tell you, I have very few regrets in my life. Some of them are spending way too much money on going out to dinner versus learning how to cook. I can't get that money back. I wish I could, because I could be living on the beach right now if I had all that money back. We spent a lot of money on eating out. That is one regret. One regret I will never have is the money I spent on educating myself, because I was able to reach that monumental thing that everybody strives for, being a six-figure stylist. And it sounds so far reached and so far off. If you're making the same income every year, that $30,000, $40,000 income, and you're on your feet and you're not eating lunch and you're not taking a break, I promise you, if you put your money into education, take those tips that you don't even pay attention to, that you're blowing at Starbucks, that you're blowing on lottery tickets, hoping and praying that you hit the lottery. You can control your future. You know that you're going to get a return on your investment with education. You don't know that with a lottery ticket. A lottery ticket is like you're putting money out, you're not always getting money back. If you get it back, great, good for you. But most times going to the casino, you go and you have fun, you're up, you're down, you leave, you have nothing. Where education will always pay you back. It will always grow you in some way. I can't tell you how many things that I have attended over the years. And yes, sometimes I'm completely disappointed, but in that experience of getting myself to that training, I have met someone that 20 years later is now an important part of my life and a resource for other things. That going to that event wasn't meant to be how to do a razor cut. It was meant to meet my friend Donna, who's she's contributing to the experiential swag. She talks all about the financial end of the beauty industry and how easy it is to rein in your finances and understand your numbers and actually be able to retire. I want that for you. Most hairstylists do hair until they die, and they have nothing to show for it in the end because they're spending their money as quickly as they're making it. So sometimes making just a small change. When I met Donna, I was not charging for glazes. I was not charging extra for blowouts after a color service if the client didn't get cut. And she was like, that's your time, and that's your stylist time, and you need, time is money, and you only have so many spots in a day. You need to start charging for that. And that changed everything. Donna is one contributor to a huge library of swag, not even the actual event that is Revival. So the value is triple or more what the price of admission is. And if money's tight and you can't afford the VIP, at the minimum get the general admission. You're going to get my $27 glazing class. So already that's $27 off. You're already down to, $70 for the event. And $70, think about it. That's like a week's worth of Starbucks and bad lunches that, you regret those as well. So it's October 17th and 18th, if you don't already know, because I talk about it all the time because I'm beyond excited about it. I can't believe how quickly it's coming up. Oh, Michael, I listened to your podcast with the brilliant James Atkinson from Brighton, London. We have him in our salon on Monday. I'm so jealous. I want to come to your salon on Monday. Anne said, I was at Revival last year. It was amazing. All of the educators in 2 days were so worth it. Thank you, Anne. I'm so proud of the group that I have gathered together, and they all are so excited to be with you. And they all are fueled by the passion for sharing and paying it forward. These educators, when they teach at a hair show, their day rate is beyond what I can even fathom getting paid to educate. They are the top in our industry, and they're coming to you live on a digital platform for, practically nothing compared to what they would get at an in-person show. And they're doing it, even though in-person shows are happening again, they're doing it because they loved the experience so much. They loved the meet and greet cocktail party. We had so much fun. We got to know Beth Minardi, the person, Vivian McKinder, the person. When you go to hair shows, you see them in their groove as an educator. They're on, they know how to work the angles to the camera and show you the demonstration, and they're very serious about what they're doing because they want you to walk away with a new technique, a new way of doing something, and to understand something that you didn't know before. But we heard from Vivian stories about, her fun single days and dating and Beth, being back out on the market and dating and stuff like that. And to me, that's so fun. I want to know the person, not just the technique. So it's a really unique show. If you didn't come last year, you definitely missed an amazing experience. Don't miss it again. Don't be penny wise, pound foolish and think like, oh my gosh, $197 for VIP. Like I said, the experiential swag alone is worth thousands of dollars. If you went to see each of the people that contributed to the swag, it would cost you so much, 10 times more than what you're paying for the cost of the ticket. So, of course, I don't have the link to Revival on here. I only have the link for the $27 toning class. But as soon as I hang up, I will add the link for the Revival. Teresa said, one of my pet peeves in hair groups, they want a formulation but don't show the starting level. Absolutely. You cannot give a formula without knowing where they're coming from. It's like trying to drive it with a GPS with no beginning location. Margarita says, hi, overtoning cool to cancel warmth. How do I keep her cool without looking grayish? But on the other hand, it gets warm, and yes, she was bleach level 9. So Margarita, what happens is at a level 9, you have the palest yellow, and these new glazes and toners are formulated. They're starting to pack a real punch. And some of them also have a lot of what's called background tones. So when you think you're putting just a 9V on someone, you don't realize that there is a lot of background in the color. Not in Shades EQ 9V has no background, but a lot of other colors have background at that level. And it's the background that you're seeing being picked up that's being muddy. So adding just a touch of warmth into a cool shade helps keep it from going too drab. But there's a million other tips, like putting a little bit of conditioner on there, applying it on hair that's not bone dry if they're super porous, but all of that is in that $27 training. And that is absolutely the number one issue is I want it cool, but then it goes gray. A lot of times you have to do something called pre-toning that I teach, where you need to do one layer of one thing and then another layer over top of it. And most people don't talk about that. And a lot of educators do that, but don't talk about that. So that is, that's a great question and very, Iris asked, does last year's Revival have an expiration date? No. Last year's Revival you have forever. However, we didn't realize we were going to be doing it every year when we did it last year. So we can't host it on our platform longer than a year moving forward, or we'll run out of room on our platform. So this year you have everything, access to everything for an entire year. But last year's you have forever. Kay is on here. Kay said she's making her video next week. So excited. So Kay, one of the members of my Hair Color Secrets Insiders, asked a question about toning, and another member, which that's what I love about this group, they jump in to help each other. Another member jumped in and answered her, and she gave her this big, long, complicated answer where it was breaking down the tonal values in each color. I was not taught color that way. A lot of people were, and the answer that my member gave came from a class that Kay gave. So Kay reached out and said, hey, I'm getting ready to do the experiential swag participation, and I'm looking for a topic. I heard that people were really interested in knowing that. I was like, oh my gosh, Kay, that's amazing, because I wasn't taught that way, and I find it to be very interesting. It's like breaking down like how many yellows, how many reds, how many blues are in each tone and each level. So it's super interesting. So that's Kay's experiential swag. So we're excited to have Kay with us in this year's revival, and she's from the UK. So we have UKK, we have Christina Russell from Australia, we have Justina from Ireland. She's actually Polish, but she lives in Ireland. We have Chris Moody from the UK. Who am I forgetting? Oh, we have Cherie Noble. How can I forget Cherie Noble? We're so excited to have her. Her glazes and toners. If you're not familiar with Cherie, check out her Instagram. My jaw drops every day when I see her posts on Instagram. And she wasn't going to be able to do revival, and I was super bummed. And I was like, can you please just do the experiential swag and share your prowess for glazing and toning, because you're a rock star. She's a Redken ambassador, an amazing formulator, such a blonde specialist, and her models are always drop dead gorgeous. I'm like, where do they make these women in Australia? They're absolutely stunning. So Cherie is not only doing the experiential swag, she is part of the live revival. So we're so excited to have her there. So that's our other Australian. We have experiential swag from Jay Edwards. He was not able to make it live because, excuse me, they've been in lockdown, and they're finally going back to work, and he has, I don't know, I think like 8 or 9 locations at this point, and just couldn't do it live. But his swag contribution is worth the price of admission. I love Jay Edwards' education. I've learned so much from him that I now pay forward to my members. Here comes my Vanna White with some water. He's sick of listening to me cough. So he taught me how to use a longer, wider foil to get done highlighting quicker. He taught me how to do a textural highlight. He taught me some tricks on caramels, on how to formulate for a caramel properly. We're always so afraid of warmth, and then we go to do a caramel and it falls flat. So I could go on, but I won't. Thank you for joining today's coffee chat. I hope to see you at Revival, and if you are not coming to Revival and you're struggling with glazes and toners, click the link in this broadcast and purchase the only $27 training on the top 10 reasons that you're struggling with glazes and toners. I will see you all next week. And if you could do me a huge favor, if this broadcast helped you in any way, if you could share this with friends that are in the industry and share the word about Revival, I would so appreciate that. We're going hard on our Facebook ads, but not everybody jumps on Facebook all the time. So we want to reach as many hairstylists as we possibly can, because we all had a really crappy year and a half, and we all need to be re-inspired, re-motivated, and get up close and personal with these amazing artists. So thank you so much, and I really hope that you will share this with others, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.